All right, so what's the deal? Oil goes up and suddenly mortgage rates jump? Oil drops and rates follow. Most people think rates are controlled by the Fed, and, well, as you can see, they're wrong. The truth, oil might be one of the biggest hidden drivers of your interest rate. And if you don't understand this, you're gonna buy at the wrong time and you could potentially overpay for the next 30 years. Everyone says, wait for the Fed to cut rates. It sounds smart, feels responsible, but here's the problem. Mortgage rates don't follow the Fed nearly as much as people tend to think. They follow something much bigger, which is inflation. We've heard about inflation a lot as of late. And what drives inflation faster than almost anything else on the planet? Oil. Oil is the backbone of the economy. Oil isn't just gas at the pump. It's transportation, it's shipping, it's manufacturing, it's construction, it's food distribution. And when oil goes up, everything gets very expensive very quick. And when everything gets more expensive, inflation spikes. Now, here's where it hits a little bit directly to you. When inflation rises, investors demand higher returns. That's why mortgage rates go up. Not because lenders feel like it, because the entire financial system reprices risk. You've heard me talk about that on previous videos a million times. And as a result, there's a bit of a chain reaction. Let me simplify this. Oil goes up, costs go up, inflation goes up, bond yields go up, mortgage rates, as a result, go up. That's the chain. Mortgage rates are tied to mortgage-backed securities, which compete with treasury bonds. So what that means is when inflation is hot, investors say, I'm not lending money for 30 years at a low rate. So rates climb. So why this matters right now, here's what most buyers are doing. They're sitting on the sidelines and they're waiting for rates to drop, but they're watching the wrong thing. They're watching the Fed, and we've talked about it over and over and over again. Instead, they should be watching energy prices, supply chains, and inflation pressure. Meanwhile, smart buyers, they're moving. They're actually taking action because they understand something that most people don't. You don't wait for perfect rates, you act when you can control the deal. It's a bit of a psychological shift, but we need to be honest with ourselves. It does feel safe waiting for rates. But in this market, waiting can be very expensive because while you're waiting, home prices will continue to go up. I should say may continue to go up. Inventory stays tight, other buyers are locking in deals, and when rates finally drop, everyone just jumps back in. That's when, prices tend to surge. That's when competition explodes. That's when you kind of lose control over the deal. So you have control of the wait, but not the deal. The winners don't wait for perfect conditions. They move when they understand the game. So here's how to play this. Buy when you can afford the payment. Lock the asset. Refinance when rates improve because you can change your rate. And oh my gosh, I know it's cliche, but you can't change the price you paid or the property you bought. And here's one of the biggest mistakes people make. They try to time it perfectly. There's really no way to do that. If you do that, you tend to miss the opportunity that could be right in front of you. So again, this is where having the right strategy matters, not just getting a loan, but understanding using an advisor, when to lock, when to float, when to structure the deal differently. And here's the thing, the buyers who win in this market, they're not guessing. I mean, they're speculating a little, but not entirely. They're working with people all around them who understand the pieces that connect the dots. That's really the difference. If you take one thing away from this, the headlines are reactionary. They're already too far gone. Try to understand the system a little bit more because the people that understand how money actually moves are the ones who will build wealth. And the ones who don't, they wait, they hesitate, they get scared, they listen to the headlines, their favorite news outlet, and then they pay more later.